Have you ever looked at someone else's life and wonder why they seem so far ahead? Maybe they are more successful, more attractive, more confident, more accomplished, and suddenly what you have doesn't feel like enough. Comparison is something almost everyone experiences, no matter what your age, no matter what your income, no matter your achievements, there is always seem to be someone who has more. And in today's world, we are exposed to those comparisons more than ever before. But why do we compare ourselves to others? Why does this happen so automatically? And why does it often leave us feeling worse instead of better? Today we are going to explore the evolutionary roots of comparison, the consequences it creates in modern life, and practical ways to break the habit so you can focus on your own journey instead of constantly measuring yourself against someone else. Let's begin. Most people think comparison is a personal flaw. It isn't. It's a human instinct. Long before modern society existed, our ancestors lived in groups. In those groups, social positions mattered. Who had resources? Who had influence? Who had skills? Who had support? Paying attention to others helped people survive. Comparison provided information. It helped individuals understand where they stood within the group. In many ways, comparison was useful. The problem is that our ancient brains are operating in a modern world, and that changes everything. Thousands of years ago, you compared yourself to a relatively small number of people, maybe a few dozen, maybe a few hundred. Today, you cannot compare yourself to billions. Every day, you are exposed to the best moments from countless lives, vacations, achievements, relationships, fitness transformations, luxury lifestyles, career successes. What you are seeing isn't reality, the highlight reel. What your brain often treats it as reality, and that's where the trouble begins. Comparison often creates an impossible standard because we compare our behind the scenes struggles to someone else's personal highlights. We know our failures, our insecurities, our doubts, our mistakes, but we rarely see those parts of other people's life. As a result, we compare unequal information and wonder why we feel inadequate. It's like comparing an unfinished draft to someone else's final product. The comparison was never fair to begin with. One consequence of instant comparison is declined self-esteem. The more attention you give to what others have, the less attention you give to what you achieved. Your progress becomes invisible. Your strength becomes ordinary. Your accomplishment feels small. Not because they are small, but because you are measuring them against unrealistic standards. And no matter how much you accomplish, someone will always have more. Comparison ensures the finish line keeps moving. Comparison can also create envy. Not necessarily because you are a bad person, but because constant exposure to what others have can create feeling of scarcity. You begin asking, why them? Why not me? What am I missing? Over time, envy can turn into resentment, and resentment steals joy. Another hidden consequence is paralysis. When you are constantly looking at others, you stop focusing on your own path. You second guess your decisions. You chase trends. You copy goals that don't actually matter to you. Instead of building your life, you spend your energy reacting to everyone else, and that's exhausting. So how do we stop comparing ourselves so much? First, recognize that comparison is automatic. You don't need to feel guilty for experiencing it. The goal isn't to eliminate comparison completely. The goal is to manage it. Second, limit unnecessary exposure. If certain content constantly damages your mental well-being, reduce your consumption. Protect your attention. Third, focus on personal progress. Compare yourself to who you were 6 months ago, 1 year ago, 5 years ago. That's the comparison that actually matters. Gratitude doesn't eliminate ambition, it balances it. You can strive for more while appreciating what you already have. Every day, identify things that are going well, big or small. This trains your brain to notice abundance instead of constantly searching for deficiencies. One reason comparison becomes so powerful is because many people never define success for themselves. They inherit definitions from society, from families, from social media, from culture. Then they spend years chasing goals that don't truly matter to them. Ask yourself, what does success mean to me? What kind of life do I want? What values matters most? Once your definition becomes clear, comparison loses much of its power. Because you are no longer running someone else's race. Life isn't a competition with a universal timeline. Some people succeed early, some succeed later. Some change careers, some start over, some find love early, some find it later. Different paths do not mean better or worse paths, just different ones. The problem with comparison is that it makes you forget this truth. Comparison is ancient, but in the modern world, it often creates unnecessary suffering. It can damage self-esteem, fuel envy, create anxiety, and distract us from our own growth. The solution isn't to stop noticing others. The solution is to stop measuring your worth against them. Because your value is not determined by someone else's success. And your journey doesn't need to look like anyone else to be meaningful. Thank you for watching, and now I would love to hear from you. What comparison do you struggle with the most? And how different do you think your life would feel if you focus only on your progress? Let me know in the comments below.